Hello, welcome to this Crypto Professor analysis video on Litecoin. Litecoin is Bitcoin's younger brother. It's actually one of the old guard of the cryptocurrency world, invented in 2011 by a gentleman called Charlie Lee, who is an ex-Google programmer. In fact, he helped to develop the Google Chrome browser that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Lee wanted to create a new type of cryptocurrency that didn't have all the problems necessarily that Bitcoin would have and is now actually suffering with, like long block times, for example, 10 minutes per block. Litecoin is only 2.5 minutes per block, so it is 4 times faster, effectively. Litecoin is also more secure than Bitcoin, with a new hash protocol than Bitcoin's, and therefore it is more secure than Bitcoin's. And obviously Bitcoin can't change its hashing protocol. They are attempting to change it with the Lightning Network, but at the moment Litecoin is the more secure of the two networks. I'm going to be taking a look at the price action today over the long term, and also providing a little bit of insight into where I think the price might be going over the next couple of weeks to months, but that will be further on in this video. The idea that Charlie Lee had was not to compete with Bitcoin, but to have Litecoin facilitate smaller transactions. There are therefore more Litecoin than there are Bitcoin, 84 million, a potential maximum supply, and around 65 million have been mined. It does have a similar mining protocol and a proof of work mode that Bitcoin has, in that there is a halvening every 4 years or so, with the most recent one being in the summer of 2019, the next one not due until 2023. Okay, let's look at where Litecoin is right now. It's currently the 6th largest cryptocurrency by market cap, so it is nice and high. A market cap of almost $5 billion. A trading volume very, very similar, in actual fact, to the market cap. So that implies that there are a lot of people trading this, and not many people holding it, or hodling it, as it were. A price at the moment around $72, which is actually nice and high as of recent. It has recently been in an uptrend that I'll analyze a little bit later, as you can see from this data here. A all-time low of $1.15 back in 2015, so quite far beyond the origin date of Litecoin itself back in 2011, 4 years in fact, and a high price of $360 so far back in December 2017, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency world. Let's have a look now at where Litecoin might be in the future according to other investors and other speculators. Gov.capital extremely bullish, 270, 410 and 545 by 2025. Wallet Investor not so bullish, $2. Wallet Investor tends to have bearish outlooks because they focus very much on the short-term aspect of trading volatility, and obviously over the short term Litecoin hasn't been performing particularly well against the other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And a digital coin price of around a similar amount to what it is at the moment, fluctuating between $100 and a low of $83. So 2 bullish outlooks, one very bullish outlook and one incredibly bearish outlook from Wallet Investor. But I would take that with a pinch of salt. In actual fact, I'd take all of these with a large pinch of salt, because these are based on algorithms as opposed to technical analysis and judgment, which can be beneficial and can be very wrong, but I would take these definitely with a pinch of salt. Where am I with this? Well, I think, judging by the Fibonacci retracement that we've just seen, taking this from all-time high down to all-time low or thereabouts, I think we are due a movement to $414 over the course of the next 1 to 2 years, and then a movement to $527 maximally over the course of the next couple of years. We'll probably hesitate highly around this price and again at this price, and we'll obviously hit multiple areas of resistance on the way, which I'm going to focus on a little bit more towards the end of this recording. Let's look now at some technical data about where we are currently. We're currently at a resistance level that was last seen back in February. We obviously had a large movement over the January and December last year and hit a high of around $80 or so. We're back at that place now. Okay, now do we break through this? I'm going to examine some new technical indicators that I haven't used in previous videos at the end of this video to answer that question as to whether I think we're going to break through this resistance level that we're currently testing now. As you can see, we have been in quite a dramatic trend channel since we started that descent, with these major trend lines, this very aggressive bullish trend line here, almost a 75-degree angle that theoretically could push us through this resistance level. We then have another resistance level higher at around $90, which goes all the way back to the summer of 2019 and then even further back to the summer of 2018. If we break through that, then we're going to test these other liquidity zones at higher prices. But I'd like to see us break the $75 region first before going up towards the $90. And if we break, depending on how quickly we break through this level, surmises how quickly we might break through this $90 level. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, the rest of the crypto world is very, very bullish at the moment. Bitcoin chasing its new all-time high around $17,500 at the moment. That's fantastic. It might bleed out into Litecoin, we shall see. But this is what's caused this momentum that we've seen in the Litecoin price of late. RSI telling us a slightly different story, saying this is slightly overbought at the moment. And we see a nice trend channel there, but this is a day chart. If we look at a week chart, similar picture, although a little bit less overbought. So we could have the momentum to break through here. And obviously RSI on cryptocurrencies can be a little bit of a illusion, because when the RSI rockets off the charts, it's very strange because it treats these assets like they were stocks and shares, for example. And obviously stocks and shares move in a very dissimilar way to the majority of cryptocurrencies most of the time. But the RSI here still telling us that there is some momentum here for buying action. However, we are running out of room effectively on that. And that's what's causing this consternation perhaps at this resistance level as we bounce off of it. Let's zoom in a little bit further and look at the MACD. MACD here telling us that we're going to have a small sell-off, and this is a 4-hour chart, so I really have narrowed it down here. We're probably going to come and test these levels here, the 67 level and the 63 level on these moving averages. Let's now look at a day chart. Similar story here. We've got a slight curvature, but we're still very, very much far apart. And once again, we have had a nice cross on the EMAs for the 150. Let's have a look at the 200 and see whether we've actually got some data there. Yeah, once again, the 200 day and the 50 EMA, which is called the Golden Cross, is actually indicating that we are going to have a nice big breakout to the upside. And once again, the MACD on the day chart supporting that. Let's have a look at a week. Now we've only just got the 200-week EMA coming in now, and that might act as a nice layer of support at 62. So we've got that there. And then we have the 50, which is down here around about 54 or so. Once again, MACD, nice crossover, shooting up there and showing no signs of stopping at the moment. So the more powerful timeframes are telling us definitely that this is a bullish movement that we're seeing, and it theoretically could have the capacity to break through that resistance. Let's look now at the volume, which can also tell us an interesting story about whether we have the momentum to keep going. And the answer is yes. So at the moment we are seeing a sell-off in the volume. We actually have declined, with price action not really moving that much. That's a movement from $76 down to $72, and the volume makes it look very, very dramatic indeed, albeit I am looking on a 15-minute chart. Let's zoom this out a little bit so that we can get a more accurate time frame. On a 4-hour, similar, just a small dip in an otherwise very, very negative volume sentiment. But we are actually at almost or thereabouts all-time highs for volume, so we could see this push into the positive, in which case fantastic, we will have that breakout that we want for Litecoin to break the resistance level at the $75 region. Let's look at the massive time frames here. No volume data on the week chart. Day chart, same, no volume data so far, unless of course it's hiding. Let's just have a look. Nope. Okay, so we're only going on the 4-hour chart there for volume data, and once again it is looking nice and high at the moment with a capacity to push further up into the positive. Let's now have a look at these resistance levels in detail using a new tool. This is the ADX tool. Basically, this indicates the strength of a trend. It's a trend strength indicator. You have your positive trends here and you have your negative trends here. And if these are separate, and particularly if it is over 25, the trend is strong. Okay. The trend is very strong if it's over 50 and extremely strong if it's over 75. At the moment, we have a strength of around 38 or so. So that is quite a strong trend. If we break higher, this will probably go up towards 50. Notice in the history of Litecoin, we've only had it go above 50 once or twice. And these are usually when we've had the huge movements up to $80 or so. So the fact that we've tested these resistance levels multiple times over the past couple of months means that theoretically we are more likely to break higher than this and test this higher resistance level of $90. So far there's a lot stacking for this to actually break the resistance level, as opposed to correcting down here down to the 63 and 60 and $54 regions that it may do if we start to have a sell-off. At the moment, probably not many people looking to take profits because a lot of people bought a lot higher prices around these regions here and are waiting to collect their profits on hodled coins from back in 2019 or even 2018. So there is a definite cause for bullishness to this coin, and I guesstimate that we will break this resistance level in due course. Now let's have another look at another form of technical analysis called candle chart patterns. Now these have to be taken with a pinch of salt. They are very subjective, which is why I have asked the computer today to indicate them. But effectively you can tell chart psychology, or have an idea of chart psychology, by looking at different candlestick patterns that happen. For example, this is a doji, which signals indecision because the price can't tell whether it's going higher or lower. Notice we have a nice little doji on that resistance line there as the price bullishly went up to it, thought about it for a second, and then sold off. And we're looking at this on a 1 hour chart. So that's a 1 hour indication. We've got another candlestick pattern here, a bullish engulfing. So this is where the bulls are back in control again and they are pushing the price higher. So to me, this looks like we've had a nice big push up to the resistance level, indecision, a sell-off back down to test support levels at the various moving averages. This is the 100 hour moving average, and this is the 50-hour moving average. And then we bounced off those. We're now showing support above the 50-hour moving average, and we theoretically should start to climb here and retest this resistance. If we break higher than this and see maybe 78, we might come back down to retest support at around 76, and then we're off to the races effectively, and we will climb up towards $90 or so, $95, via a nice movement that we saw similar to this. Okay, so that summarizes what I think of Litecoin. I think it's going to break this resistance level nicely. There may be a period of consolidation before we get there, but notice this ascending trend line is getting close and we don't really have that much maneuverability. We may see it consolidate and go back down to 64, or even if we really have a nice consolidation, if Bitcoin has a sell-off, for example, or we see some bearish sentiment in the market again that we're not seeing at the moment, then we might have a correction down to 54. That we can actually see on higher time frames. So if we zoom out there, we can actually see these moving averages on higher time frames are definitely a potential for a drop. So my advice to you would be to take a little bit of profit here, maybe 10-20%, buy again down here or even down here if you want to, and then we should see that resistance level broken in time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like more, please make a recommendation in the comments and I will get around to shooting a video of a project or coin that you are interested in. For now, happy trading. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to get $25 of CRO completely for free, please sign up to Crypto.com using our referral link in the description on this video. The Crypto Professor likes feedback. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it. If you'd like more of the same, please don't forget to subscribe. Or if you have questions, please post them in the comments and I'll endeavour to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.